good with it, y'all? It's your boy Santo G, back at it. You already know, spreading unity, prosperity, and respect above all. So today, if you're new, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I drop future content. Monday through Friday, dropping one video and at least a couple of shorts daily. So let's get into it. Today I wanted to tell you guys how was it programming on the yard with Nortenos. I already told you guys that we were there together and it was all gravy, you know what I mean? But now I'm gonna get more in detail on how was it programming with them. First and foremost, let me just say I salute all my raza, whether you from down south or you from up north, man. We all the same. We all look the same, come from the same place, and we all bleed the same, man. We all human. So at first when I got there, the first thing they tell you is, hey, there's northerners here, so there's a gallo. And what I mean by gallo is throughout the night, program is 10 to 10. But throughout the night, after 10 o'clock, you would have homies rotating every 2 hours. It'll be a different shift. So somebody will stay up from 10 to 12, then somebody will stay up from 12 to 2, somebody from 2 to 4, somebody from 4 to 6, so on and so forth, all the way up until breakfast, you know? So pretty much what we mean by that is because we were there with northerners, they would do the same thing. They would have a gallo as well, because you're sleeping right here, and in the bunk next to you, like I said, it could be anybody. It could be a white, it could be a black, it could be a other, it could be a northerner. So pretty much we would have gallo to just watch over the homies, that they know sneak attacks coming, anything like that, you know. And why they made it, I don't know. When I got there, it was already in place, and that's the way we would run things, you know. That's the only thing that I can say that some homies didn't like it when it was their turn to be gallo, because keep in mind, you know, it does mess up your sleeping routine and your sleeping habits if you gotta be gallo. And then you got some homies that just volunteer for it, like, hey, I volunteer for it, I volunteer for it. Just give them a gang of coffee. That's one thing I always made sure, whoever was doing gallo for me, because I did have that building at that certain time, I would make sure I would stack them up with coffee, you know what I'm saying? So that way they could stay up, be alert and stuff like that. A lot of them would be programming, they'll do burpees, cleaning up, some would draw, you know what I'm saying? Different routines. But that's one that I just wanted to talk about and pretty much shed light on, as far as how was it programming with northerners, you know what I mean? I think it was nothing different. The only thing different is that we would have gallo, you know what I'm saying? Because if there was no northerners there, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have gallo. And from my understanding, the only reason why they had gallo is because the northerners had gallo. So it's like, we see them staying up, so we're gonna stay up as well, you know? That's the only reason why I feel like that was put in place. It was just pretty much seeing they were doing the same thing and not knowing what was going on, and just fell into the same routine, you know? Another thing that I can say, you know, as far as dealing with northerners and being there with them, if you guys think homies have a high structure, their structure is like, anytime there's somebody showering, there's always 2 fools right there posted. Anytime there's somebody on the phone, there's always somebody right there posted next to them, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they're allowed to be by themselves. All my northerners, tap in, you know what I mean? Let me know in the comments. But I don't think they're allowed to be anywhere by themselves at any point in time, you know? Showers, phone, everything, there would always be at least 2 or 3 deep. I would never see a northerner by himself unless he was at work or he was walking a medical or something like that. But that's one thing I could say as far as them, you know? And that's just me noticing it, you know what I'm saying? And another thing, the only difference is that northerners, they can't party, they cannot get high, you know what I'm saying? They cannot indulge on anything. I think the only thing they could do is probably like drink or smoke bud. But even that, it's like, it has to be in the night. It can't be during program hours, you know what I mean? So all my Northerners, tap in. Anybody, you know what I mean, any Northerners part of my channel, you guys will want to share your story more in depth, because I can only say so much, you know what I'm saying, without crossing the lines. So if you guys want to get into it with your story, just tap in the comments or in my Instagram, and we'll put something together. Another thing I noticed is that whenever a Northerner does something bad, like does something wrong, they would always, whole yard, whole day room, they'll be sitting on a table, like literally just sitting on the table with his hands up and two people watching him. In the day room, sitting on the table or sitting on his bunk with two people watching him, or on the yard, they'll be just sitting at the table with two people watching him. Then 9 times out of 10, hey, if I'm lying, I'm dying, you know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, any person that you see right there sitting down on the table under punishment, you're gonna see them either getting life flighted or getting put on a gurney and escorted out the yard with some gash and a couple holes in them. Because like I said, I did get close to some of the Norteños that were there, and they did tell me, like, you know what I mean, that whenever any type of situation, any Norteño fucks up, they'll, first thing they do is they slice them in the face. They always go for the face and then they stab them. You know what I mean? Let me know if you guys, if that's true. I think it's true from seeing it. When I was there, I done seen 3 people get removed that way, and it was always the same way too. You know what I'm saying? But that's another thing, you know, that I wanted to point out. As far as working out too, they work out all yard. Whenever they're out at yard, most of them, they're always working out the whole yard. That's why when I was there, I made sure that the homies, as soon as you go out to yard, 113 burpees before you start playing basketball, before you do anything else, you know what I'm saying? Monday through Friday, it was mandatory workout, mandatory yard, and it was a little rough. Even though it was a level 2, a lot of people are gonna be in the comment like, oh, that's level 2 stuff, what? That level 2 was cracking. It was cracking. I haven't even got to the beginning. I'm barely touching the beginning of the war stories just on that yard alone. You know what I'm saying? That yard was cracking both ways, you know what I'm saying? Because people think just because it's a lower level yard that nothing happens. Man, it's the lower level yards, the pettier shit gets, the more wilder shit is. That's just my point of view, man. When you in 4s, you in 3s, people know what time it is, so they're not doing stupid stuff, you know what I'm saying? If anything, you're just cleaning up a chomo or somebody with bad paperwork. But in level 2s, it's people that ain't never been nowhere, that don't know, that don't have no common sense, and that are constantly having to get checked, boobot, so on and so forth, man. I'm gonna touch on that on the next one. It's your boy Santo G. I just wanted to say my point of view. What do I see is the difference between homies and Norteños, and those are the basics that I can pretty much point out to you. You know what I'm saying? A homie, as soon as they get there, we give you time, you know what I'm saying, show you 128 or whatever. A Norteño, as soon as they get there, what I noticed, they take their property. As soon as any new Norteño gets there, they take their property, they go through everything in depth, call the streets, make sure they check out. Then once they check out, give them their property back and let them program like the rest. But until they check out, they get put on freeze and on the table like that, or bunk status, you know what I'm saying? And it's the real rawness, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people cannot hang, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Unity, prosperity, and respect. Above all, shout out my sponsor, Killer Kush, right here trying to blaze this one. And I'm trying not to smoke in my videos, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, these little breaks when I'm doing these videos, it's the only smoke break I could get, you know what I mean? After this video is done, it's back to dad duties, you know what I mean? Straight up. It's just editing real quick, back to dad duties, back to being a full-time dad, and then in the night is being a security guard, you know what I mean? Parking enforcement. So anybody getting at me talking about get a job, this and that, I got a job, I got a YouTube channel, I got an online store. What do you got going for yourself? And I only been out 3 years. That's in 3 years. And focus probably only like 1.5, 2. Imagine if I would have been focused as soon as I got out, That's why I'm trying to put y'all up on game, man. Instead of talking stuff, make your own channel, tell your own stories, man. Let's get it.